Okay, so what is up, everybody? What is going on to the chat? You guys have been waiting very patiently for this very, very important event. Now, we're going to get started in a second here, but I have a little bit of a speech. I'm just going to get up on my soapbox and I'm just going to, talk for a while. I just wanted to take a second and say just how heckin' proud I am of my sister and my mom. Rena spent literal years planning these storylines for 1 and 2 and other stories. And the way she's able to translate her ideas into a physical book that I can read and imagine and stuff is very inspiring. And I'm like, ooh, I love these books. They're just so good. If I was a normal consumer, take my money, please. Just the biblioteca, my money. It's like seeing a movie and then you get to see how the sequel is made and it's exactly what you think it should be. She's great at making a series flow without overly cliche things happening and all that stuff. So my mom and my sister worked so hard editing. I could hear them every day, finishing the edits, talking about the sales, talking about the marketing. And Mom, you did such a great job, making suggestions, helping edit. You did amazing. So I welcome you to the release of Acceptance and Ice. Dun, dun, dun! And I hope you enjoy this live event. Now, I would love to invite Rina herself to the spotlight. Well, hello, Rina. I'm going to go... Yeah. I'm going to go in the background and stalk everyone now.
Oh, great. All right. Hi, everyone. So this is it. This is the official launch for Acceptance and Ice. We've only been talking about it for about 4 months. So welcome, everyone. And thank you all so much for being on. So we have tons planned for tonight. We have a couple of different interviews. We're showing off art. We've got guests and we have 3 giveaways. That's right, 3. So don't worry if you don't win one prize, there are other prizes that you can potentially win. So 2 years ago, we did a stream very similar to this. And 2 years ago, when I was very quiet and very shy, and I just kind of wanted to hide behind everything, I have my tulips at the ready here. I had a guest hosting with me, and I have him back again for the 2-year anniversary. John's Comics with Kids.
Yay to contractual obligations.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited. Yay!
I'm wearing mine too. It's really low down on the shirt, but I'm wearing mine too. Oh, the green screen's blotching it out.
Huge congratulations for both, another year around the sun. That's great.
Right? Yeah.
But I mean, huge congrats on completing the second novel in this series. So just, praise be to you for that hard work.
Thank you. Man, I can't believe it's been 2 years.
I mean, what have you been doing all this time? It's like almost like you were writing a book or something.
I mean, the manuscripts themselves take about 6 months. So it is a lengthy process just to get the base draft done. Yeah. And then
edit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mom and I edited that book for 5 months, something along those lines. And just every time we thought we were almost done, then there was more. And then also, we're prepping hopefully the next Tales, the Weird and Strange book. We're also hoping to have that out sometime in the coming year. So we've been working on that a little bit as well. So that's where some of the time has gone. So
Well, you've come a long way, and it's just been an amazing journey to kind of just watch from afar as you've gone through this. And I'm super excited to be here. And not only that, those of you in the chat have a chance to win a whole book bundle that I'm going to give away. So you can read these books. You can order them, of course. You can order your own. But I'm also going to be giving away a set at some point when we get Super Russ in here later on. We're gonna trivia quiz the chat and see who wins something.
Ooh, oh, that's right. You're doing a trivia question. Ooh. And yeah, all of you guys, if you want to go over to my website and get your copy for this, the official release, it's just www.rinaBrownAuthor.com. Thanks to my tech guy. Like I said, Cade said, he's stalking the chat. He's going to be my tech guy for the night. But we have tons of fun stuff planned. And I mean, man, it's so crazy having the second one ready. And it was a different process for this one than it was the first one. I mean, I'm a little bit more experienced this time round than I was the first time. But also, my first book, a lot of people don't know this, my first one's actually considered a hybrid, where it was published, but I own everything as a self-publisher. So, and apparently there's not very many hybrid books. It's either one or the other. There's not many that are down the middle of the lane and did what I did, which I did not know. So trying to do the full novel self-publishing by myself, it was definitely a very different experience because I had to figure out formatting.
Sure.
And and whereas my publisher had done all that before, and we had to fight with the Amazon publishing for 5 days. We could not get them to publish the book for 5 days. It was so aggravating.
Wow.
Well, and it was because my cover artist, Damien Aviles, he had signed it. And the thing that Amazon asks for, it's like, hey, all of your text and everything has to be within like these certain brackets, otherwise it might be cut off. Now, his signature is like, we have his name and such on the inside of the book. So if it had just his first name and not his last name, I was like, oh, okay, well, he still has credit, it's not that big a deal. But Amazon was like, it's either in or it's out. So I had to go in and I had to refix the cover so that way they wouldn't like half chop it off and such. Yeah.
At least it got done though. At least it's done and you did it.
Yeah. So, but it's definitely it's a kit and caboodle and a half, as I like to say. So, I think unless there's anything else unless there's something you want to talk about. Did you want
to say hi to the chat at all? Do you want to
Yes, probably a little bit. Yes. I have my support team in the background saying hi to everybody, but we have Old Wolf, we have Glitter and Duct Tape, we have Omni King, we have this Burning Block and Life with Two YouTubers people. I see them.
Wonder who those eyes are.
We have Bravo Comics, we have Zen, we have Troy's Reviews, we have Russ is in the chat. Grayman popped in to say hi. Hi, Grayman. I know it's like middle of the night for you. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. We also have I know I saw other people. I was gonna say a surfer was here in the beginning. Yep, I said Zen. Yep, Zen is here. And we have Captain Pike. Harmony has popped into the chat. I was gonna say, I think that's everybody so far. I'm more people are gonna be popping up, and I will try to say hi to them as they come in. So thank you all so much for joining us, and I hope you stick around because like I said, we have a lot of stuff going on and a lot of giveaways that you're not going to want to miss out on. So I think Mr. Tech Guy is stalking in the back corner. I think we're going to talk a little bit about the art because we are trying to sell the art. So Harmony is here to join us. Hello.
Am I in?
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, Harmony.
I can't actually see the screen, so
no,
I can't tell if I'm in or not. I'm going by the delayed YouTube version.
Oh. Yes.
So,
can you hear us okay?
I can hear you fine.
Perfect. Yes, I was gonna say we can see your screen. We can see the little ham with the cake.
Good. Getting OBS to talk with Streamlabs is not fun.
That's the problem with computers. You can't live with them, and you can't live without them either.
Sometimes I want to strangle mine.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, no, I can't work with any of my computers. They always crash. That's why my brother is my tech person. Is because whenever my computer like starts to die, Cade helps me.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
funny.
So I wanted to show off the art fairly early into the stream because I wanted to give everybody a chance to purchase
Can I
it.
say hi?
Hi.
You just
Hear
did.
me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, hi.
They can hear you.
They can hear me?
They can hear you.
Hi. I
He's
can't hear them.
I know he can't. He's printing a label.
Is that John?
Yeah.
It is.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Here, I
Good
might
to
as
see you.
well.
Good to hear you.
Good to hear. Yeah.
He said good to hear you.
Hey, all right. You guys have fun. Get back to it. I got too much shipping to do. I'll be back as soon as I gotta print the next label.
Oh my god, are you gonna be doing that the entire time?
Not the entire time.
No, okay, cool. Great. Not the entire time, just most of the time.
Most of
That's
the time.
gonna
Hey,
be-
you know what? We're getting guest appearances that we didn't even know we'd have.
I know, wow, Barbarian Kung Fu hopped in for a bit there. That was insane. We haven't heard from that guy in a while.
All right. So I wanted to have a moment to talk about all of the art because not only did Harmony do a bunch of digital pieces, she did 3 different digital pieces, which you can see the giant eyeball behind my head. But then John is wearing one of the designs for Ranger and Isle. And then I am currently wearing the third one, which is the with the battle cats and Isle. But not only that, but Harmony took several weeks to make these beautiful hand-drawn art pieces. And they are limited. These are the only ones you can get, and 2 of them are already sold. So we had one of the big ones sell out and one of the medium ones sell out.
Seems like Unruly Simeon is shouting it out in the chat.
Yeah.
Unruly did get one of them, yes.
Oh, I wonder which one.
Yeah. He got one in concept. So he saw the original sketch and he was like, I want it. Wait, I don't care how it looks when it's done. I want it. And it was the Spirit Sealer. Yep, it was the Spirit Sealer piece. Yes.
Yeah. I like the Steeler.
The Stealer turned out pretty cool.
I
So,
have
but
the
I
original
actually
Steeler.
have a surprise first and foremost for everybody. I'm gonna take off my green screen. So hey, here's my green screen back here. But I'm afraid that it's gonna like destroy the art if I hold it up in front of it. So first of all, we have the 2 pieces that remain. So on my website right now, the 2 pieces that remain is the Warthog, which is at the beginning of Acceptance in Ice, and you have Ranger, and you have Isle.
That's great.
I'm trying to do like cool cinematic pans. Woo woo.
Oh, make sure to show off that it's shiny.
Oh, I know it is shiny. Like I need to like hold it up to the light. Yes, there is a special marker on here that makes certain bits of the picture glow as well. Ah, yes, I have a spotlight now. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Much better.
Ooh, that gold looks so cool.
Oh, the
Thank
gold
you.
looks phenomenal. Yes.
Yeah.
So this one is on the website, and you can purchase it right now. And it's there's only one. So as soon as somebody buys it, the website turns it off. You can't get any more. So there's the first one, and then the second one that we still had. Oh, hello, camera. The second one that we still have is the colored, and this is Mother and Son Reunite. I need to back up for this one because it's a bigger one. And this one is all in color, and you can see some of that shine.
That silver. I love the silver all over her back. Looks so
Yes.
cool.
I love the fog, just the fog wisping around her head. That is my absolute favorite.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So those are the two
compliments.
So those are the two that people have seen and are up on the website. But we actually have two more. The first two sold so fast that we are surprising everybody with live stream art exclusives. Now, if they don't sell on the stream tonight, they will be up on my website for whoever is first come, first served to purchase them. But we have two. We have, this is the Aslari versus Ranger with the scythe. And we have the blue effect of the lightning.
That's cool. And look at all the crystal, like the light on the rocks down there. That's cool.
And the whole piece is just highlighted in this brilliant electric blue. It is so cool.
That's gorgeous.
So this one is exclusive right now. And I don't think it's actually up on the website. So
it's not, because it's surprise exclusive.
It's surprise exclusive, yeah. So I will post these after the show. Do you think that would probably work? Sure. Okay. So I will post these up after the show so that if you want it, you can grab it.
Or you could grab it now at www.rinabrown.com.
No, but it's not up.
Oh, yeah, it's not up on the website yet.
You can claim. I was saying you can have people, if people want, maybe they claim it in the chat and
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
and then send a direct
or
message
do like
to
an
Rina.
auction way to do it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you want it, all right, let's just do it that way. First person to message me on my Instagram gets it. So how about that? And then we'll work out the pricing and stuff afterward. But then we also have, this is the final one, and this one's also one of my favorites because it returns with the Spirit Stealers.
Ooh, yeah.
So cool. I love this one. This one's my favorite. It's either this one or the Mama Cat one.
And just having the pair of them just stare at each other like,
yeah,
it is so cool. So, and these are both medium pieces. So, I mean, they're like picture frame size. I'd say they're about the size of picture frames. So they're pretty big. I know it's hard to tell on camera, but but yeah, I wanted to show those off real quick because, like I said, anybody who private messages me on Instagram, you know, it's first person who messages gets it. And they are at $90 because they're the medium ones. So it is a $90 price point, just so everybody's aware before, you know, somebody says like, oh, I want to get it, and then doesn't know how much it is. So they are $90. And just first come, first serve, whoever wants it. So I wanted to show this off because I wanted everybody to have a chance throughout the night. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about the art with Harmony because, like I mentioned before, Harmony, it took you several weeks to do all of the pieces.
It took so long. that Naveen piece killed me.
Yeah, so the one that was sold was a character named Naveem, and it was a big panel like the cat picture. And I don't want to give away too many spoilers, so I'm not going to mention what's exactly in it. But kind of go through your process a little bit, because when you showed me the sketches, you had already sketched them out on the big sheets of paper before you had like inked any of it or put any of the colors in. And I know you had read the book, but just talk about your process just a little bit, kind of like how you do it and what your steps are.
Well, first I have to highlight the part of the book that I would like to, draw, because if I don't, I'll lose it. And then I'll be like, okay, how am I going to frame this in this way that's going to be kind of neat, Be like, oh yeah, I can see what she's going for, but I think I can make it cooler. So let's use, for instance, the Mama Cat one, for example. Well, actually, maybe not that one. That one has a bit more spoilers than it's. Oh, maybe not that one. Actually, let's do the warthog one.
Right, yeah, that's right at the beginning of the book. That's okay.
Yeah, that one's safe. I think I can. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
So that one was basically just they're chasing a giant warthog, and it's like through a forest, I think. And Ranger gets tossed into like a rose bush or something.
Yes.
So I thought, wouldn't it be kind of funny if I drew that part where he's getting tossed off?
And you can actually see him. You can see him in the top corner up here.
So it's either my process is how can I either A, make this kind of funny, or B, make this kind of cool. And I think with the Steeler one, there was also kind of a bit of a funny part with that one because he's putting on his shoe.
That is true for the Steeler. One of the Steeler scenes, Ranger loses his boot and he has to get it back. Now, would you say that you have to change your mind a lot, or
Why are
once
you
you
shaking
have
your head at me?
My dad's back to print more labels.
See how fast that was?
Okay, but like, how many more of these do you have?
That shows the experience packing of an experienced comic seller. How fast I can pack them up. See, I only got one more box. The next box has like 80 comics in it, though. So
80?
something like
You don't have to print 80 labels, do
that.
you?
No, just one. I'll be back.
Okay.
So good.
Oh my god, I'm dying.
Dads, right? Dads are the worst.
I know, right? Jeez. It's only because this printer doesn't have any ink. Anyway, what was the question?
I was just going to ask you, do you think you have to, did you change your mind a lot? Or once you had the initial concept, you just ran with it? Or did you have to like sketch it out a couple different times and choose which one you liked most?
Yeah, with a couple of them. The Nibian one was pretty easy because that one is self-explanatory. But with like the Warthog and the first Steeler one, I had to redo those like a couple times because for the Warthog, I was like, this thing looks weird. I don't like it.
I feel like there's got to be, and maybe it's just my perspective, like there's got to be some pressure on you because it's like these things have never really been drawn in some case. These have all existed in Rina's mind, and she's got this vision for it. So then you have to create a representation that fits both her vision for it, but that also aesthetically feels true to what you're creating. Like, how do you balance those things?
Well, for one, I like to draw monsters, so that part was pretty easy. She gives me like a slight description, like with the Steeler one. She said, "Oh, it's like a werewolf but skinny." I was like, "Okay, got it." And then I gave it a human face. And I said, yeah, that looks like what I think a Steeler would look like.
So you do like some mock-ups and be like, I'm thinking like this, does that? And
Yeah,
then she could guide it a little bit.
I think in this sketch thing that I have, it's one of the sketches is the early, not that one. Where is it?
She's got like her whole itinerary all lined up.
I know. There it is. There's the first early the mock-up of it. And that was before I gave it a human face.
That's cool.
And you could see, like, werewolf. That makes sense. Also, there's this. I never showed her
The
that.
far off shot.
And then, face shot where I did give it a human face. But yeah, I did a couple sketches to get its anatomy down and all that.
That's
With
awesome.
the warthog, it's not that I don't like the warthog's design. I think it's kind of boring.
It's not grotesque enough.
It isn't.
That's why we had to have like the action scene involved in there.
I know, because like if it's just standing still, it just looks dumb. Like it doesn't know where it's at or where its mom is. Where am I? I don't know who I am or where I'm going, but I must run.
Well, and I mean, John, you hit it right on the head. I mean, Harmony knows exactly to balance it, because the first time I gave her Isle, because all of the Datso designs that we have done up until this point, I've given her free reign, just pick something and draw it. But with Isle, I gave her a few, of my, loose sketches, and then just a description of him from the book, and she nailed him. I mean,
That's
she
cool.
nailed him right on the head, and it was literally as if she had pulled it from my brain. So it's incredible, and I am super super thankful to have Harmony.
Do you want to know the what the description she gave me? She said it's like a big lizard, right, with red horns, but like it has samurai armor, a big stinger. I was like, okay, got it.
I didn't know how else to describe it visually. I was like,
oh yeah, it has like another arm set too. By the way.
Yeah, didn't I mention that like
yeah,
after
you mentioned
I
it later on, and I was like, wait, it does?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I gave it glowy bits, and I was like, yeah, that looks cool. I bet I could get away with that.
So good.
All right. So, but yes, I'm putting my green screen back up. So, but yes, that is why I wanted to talk a little bit about the art, so that everybody had a chance to go and check it out and buy it if they had wanted. And just, of course, the huge shout out to Harmony, because she is a phenomenal artist, and we would not have half of the world building and half of the amazing visuals that we do without her. So Harmony, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm still very bad at taking compliments.
That's okay.
As long as you keep making your art, you don't have to take compliments well. You just keep making your art.
That's true. I'm just gonna draw my way out of this awkwardness.
So we actually have our first interview. She is waiting backstage, and I would like to bring her in. She is a author from Idaho.
Wait, do we need to say goodbye to Harmony?
No,
Or
Harmony's
is
going
she
to stick around.
I'm
Yep,
just gonna
she's going to be doing the art for after the show, because
Gotcha.
she always does her little pictures that we can feature at the end.
That's cool.
Yeah, because I don't like to sit in silence and do nothing.
And then plus, if either of you guys have questions, feel free to ask as well, because you guys may think of things that I necessarily did not.
Bravo just asked.
Oh, Bravo. Oh, okay. Quick segue. Any plans to make a board game for your creations? There is a board game.
Oh no, here we go.
So it's Kate actually.
Wow, you really can't see that. You might want to take the green screen down a little bit.
There you go. So in Acceptance and Ice, this is another reason why you guys need to purchase the book, is for Acceptance and Ice, there is a mentioning of a game in one of the chapters. And I was sitting there and I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, I had better make sure that this game is actually functional before I publish the book. And I tested it with Harmony, and we just sent pictures back and forth to each other on little slips of paper. The game's called Unity, and I like to say that it is as if rock, paper, scissors, and chess had a child. So
yeah, it kind of reminds me of Fire Emblem a lot. So if you know what that is.
Yeah, so but that is Unity, and I don't know if I am going to make it public somehow, but there is an official board game to answer that question. But like I said before, our first interviewee is here. She is a author from Idaho, and I would like to introduce on Sue Tidwell. And hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm honored to be a part of your launch for Acceptance on Ice.
Thank you so much for being here. I mean, that you took the time out of a Monday night to come and hang out with us and talk about your book. Super, super grateful. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. Like I said, I'm happy to be here.
Well, I have interview questions for you, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about your book a little bit because there's people in our chat who do not know what you wrote. And I wanted to give you the limelight for a second and talk about your book and a little bit of the experience that you had. Some of the questions do go into it, but I just wanted to give you a second to go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, well, Cries of the Savannah resulted from a trip of my husband and I's to Tanzania. And essentially, I went there a skeptic of why hunting was needed in a place like Africa. I understood it here, but I was extremely attached to the exotic animals of Africa. So I was very skeptical that during my month there, I came to understand why it was so important to the people of Africa and ultimately the wildlife itself. So my book is basically a fun adventure, and I weave in the conservation or the facts of conservation as I learned myself. So more than anything, it's fun and it's adventure, but you also learn as you go, just as I learned. And I made a promise to our game scout, who every hunting party has a game scout that goes with them in Tanzania to make sure everything's done legally and everything's recorded. And I made a promise to her that I would try to help the world understand. Because I understood with me accepting, hunting here in America as far as deer and elk and that kind of thing, if I had a problem with hunting in Africa, I knew that a lot of other people did too. So and that's a huge threat to the African people and the African way of life. So anyway, I made a promise to her that I would try to help the world understand, and it evolved into this book, Cries of the Savannah.
That is so, so cool.
That sounds spectacular. Wow.
And how long were you in Africa for? How long was your trip for?
We were in remote Tanzania for 22 days, and then we had 2 or 3 days on the travel at each end. And when I say remote Tanzania, we were sleeping in tents. We were hours, I think 16 hours away from the nearest city if you drove it, 4 hours from the nearest village. So we were like way out there, and all of our water came out of a little hole in the ground from the dried up riverbed. We had 21 Tanzanians taking care of 4 Americans, so we were pretty spoiled even in those situations, but it was quite an amazing experience. We had lions roaring outside our tents at night. You could hear the hyenas, the elephants, the hippos. It was terrifying, but amazing at the same time.
Now, you said that you had promised your friend that you were going to raise awareness for the book and just the hunting in Africa. Now, did you always want to write a book before that, or was the trip kind of the catalyst to inspire you to write a book?
I've never written anything for publication. I've written some Christmas letters to my friends, believe it or not, and they're always these big adventure-filled Christmas letters, and my friends have been telling me for years that I should write my adventures down in a book. Well, I always thought, who really wants to hear about my adventures other than you guys? Well, once I was in Africa, it kind of, I saw this developing, and I realized that this was something worth devoting my time to. It was an important message and something I felt very drawn to and just passionate about. So I agreed to commit the time that it takes to write a book and kind of evolve from there, essentially. But I don't think I would have ever written a book if it hadn't been for this African calling, so to speak.
Now, and you've actually been back to Africa since then.
Correct.
Are you thinking about potentially writing a sequel for Cries of the Savannah?
Oh, right now I'm just trying to get through this. Writing a book is way harder than it appears, or I shouldn't even say writing the book is almost the easy part, even though that's not easy either. It's the getting it out into the world and the marketing and with me, I feel so passionate about the message that I'm working really, really hard to get it into as many hands as possible. If I didn't care if anybody bought it or not, it wouldn't really matter. but I really want people to read it. So I've got to really work hard to get it out there. And being a first-time author and independent author, it's it's not an easy task by any means.
Yeah. So how has becoming a author changed your life? I mean, because you undertook the process and the journey of publishing a book. Has it changed, your social circles or anything in your daily routine? I mean, how has, becoming an author changed your life?
It's amazing how much it's changed it. For one thing, now I'm behind it. Instead of living adventures, I'm writing about them. So I spend way too much time behind the computer and writing about stuff and trying to get this out into the world than I do actually getting to experience stuff. I still get to experience plenty. My husband's a pilot, so we can travel a lot, and it has really opened up my circle as far as I've had to really put myself out there in the hunting world. So I've gone to hunting conventions because what I have learned from my book, because the backdrop is this epic hunting adventure, that a lot of non-hunters won't even pick it up until they hear from somebody else, this is a book that you would enjoy. And until it's recommended by somebody, a lot of non-hunters pick it up and they just think it's something that wouldn't appeal to them. So that's hard from a sales standpoint. So I appeal to the hunting world, essentially, to get it into the hands of people they know that need to read it. And it's actually been surprising because I really didn't go to appeal to hunters, but they end up liking the book as well because, well, it is this kind of epic adventure, and they just they even relate to it. Even safari hunters who have been there 10 times say they get teary-eyed when they read it. So, I mean, I think it takes them back to their first times and they're reliving stuff all over again. So it's appealing to a whole broad amount of people, non-hunters, hunters, men, women, but the key is getting it into their hands. So I have been going to hunting conventions and stuff. I've had to put myself out there, meet all these people that have, in the hunting world, and really step outside my comfort zone. But it's been good. It's been really a good thing.
Yeah. And I mean, would you say that is the hardest thing with your book is, knowing that some people are not going to pick it up? Or would you say that the process of publishing it was more difficult?
Oh, I think a little bit of both. Publishing, it was really hard because I didn't know who to trust, being that I was new to the industry. And, there's a million places online who are willing to help you. And, there's a lot of resources online that I didn't know who I could trust with the hunting background. There's so much negativity around hunting. So I didn't want somebody to come in at it biased and sabotage me, either intentionally or unintentionally. I also needed someone who understood hunting jargon and understood the wildlife. So that part was really hard. Luckily, I reached out to somebody I did read an article during this whole process, and the woman, Jocelyn Engel of Hunters Inc., was so impressed with my work that I reached out to her for some advice on whether I really needed these last couple rounds of editing. And she ended up offering to take over as project manager. She got me a new cover. Because my cover was very simple. I'm not very creative when it comes to that. My cover was very simple. It had an acacia tree with a lion under it. She got an artist with a beautiful cover. She did the final rounds of editing. She had Africans read it to make sure it wasn't offensive, to make sure I had all the hunting jargon right, to make sure it was authentic. So that really helped the process, And I had Rina's mother read it the first time, who gave me awesome feedback. So she was very honest with me about some of the stuff that I was writing, and I think I was drilling it in a little bit too much. I don't know, but Rina's mom, Sharon, offered me some great feedback and really, really approved the book in a great way, I think.
Yeah, I mean, huge shout out to my mom, because I mean, she was my editor as well. And I mean, I was talking about earlier how it took us, months to edit the book, but that's because, she helped me to restructure entire chapters and figure out how to make things better. My tech guy in the background here.
I was curious, Suk. I mean, I've been to Malawi, which is kind of a slight neighbor across the lake from Tanzania. I was curious for you. I was hugely affected by the culture and the families that I met in that area. I was working with a group for schools, so it was a lot of children that I was interacting with. But how did that? Did you feel like you made some connections to just sort of the culture of Tanzania, spending that much time there? I imagine it must have.
Well, we were with the same 21 people that entire time that were taking care of us. So yeah, we created these great bonds, and I think that probably even more than anything led me to write the book. I was so taken by these people and how wonderful they are, and their humbleness and their graciousness and their joy, really, with so little.
Sure.
That I knew how important well-managed hunting is to them, and so I just became so connected to them. I fell in love with the Tanzanian people. I wasn't fortunate enough to get to know children like you did, because we were in a camp, so remote that there weren't kids there. But I still felt like, and I could not, even all of them could speak English. There was probably, I'd say about a third that could speak English. But it's kind of funny. In some ways, you didn't need to speak English. And I started learning to speak Swahili. So they taught me Swahili, and it got to be really fun, because they would, once they learned that because I wanted to be able to say thank you in Swahili and delicious meal, and I didn't want them to have to understand me. So I was learning them, and the more I learned, the more they taught me. Then it got to be fun. They would teach me all these other things, and I kept learning, and I think that built a bond with us too, because they knew I was really interested in their culture and appreciating them. So it got to be really something special, I think.
That's great. That's awesome.
Would you say that you have a favorite Swahili word?
Lala Salama was one of my favorite, which means sleep well. Then there was Asante Sana, which is thank you very much. And I said that all the time. So those are probably some of my favorite. And the animals, like Tembo, that's elephant. Kiboko, that's hippo. There's just all the name Pofu, that's Eland. The names are just such fun names that they just kind of, and that got to be a game with us when we were on safari. If we'd see an animal, Rick and I would try to say the name in Swahili instead of saying it in English, and then Raphael would have to correct us once in a while when we screwed up. But it got to be a part of the adventure, was knowing the names.
So by going on this trip and experiencing just everything that happened between creating these bonds and seeing the animals, how has it changed your life coming back home? How did the whole trip experience change your life and your experiences here, because you live here with you have running water and you have electricity, whereas compared to you learned how all that worked when you were out there. I mean, what would you say some of the biggest changes?
Well, I think, and John can probably attest for this, that once you're in Africa, you really appreciate what you have here a lot more, and when people complain about stuff, it's a lot harder to feel too sorry for them. I mean, but when you're thinking of what people deal with in other parts of the world, and if they even have food to eat that night, if they're going to be safe, if an elephant's going to trample their crops, if their kids are going to get eaten by lions, I mean, or just simple things like letting my water run to brush my teeth. I mean, you just do not want to waste water. I mean, water is a precious commodity in Africa. It changes you in so many ways that you probably don't even realize how much, really. Did you find that too?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm a teacher, so like
Oh.
being in a classroom where there's no chairs, no desks, the children are sitting on the floor. There's 40 kids in a tiny little room that doesn't even have like part of the ceiling over here, and they're doing their letters on the dirt on the floor, and you really understand like when you're complaining about, oh, the copier broke today, like there's bigger problems, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And John, how long were you on the trip for? How long was your trip?
Much shorter than Sue's. I was there maybe 10 days and then travel, like she mentioned, on either end, mostly visiting schools. I was with a charity group, so we were like trying to raise awareness about the schools. We were bringing supplies to the schools, and then we were actually building a school there as well.
Wow, that's wonderful. So Sue, since you did spend so much time there, do you have a single favorite moment of the whole trip? Or would you say that you have multiple moments from the trip that were your favorite?
I'd say that's a tough one, but I'd say some of my favorite moments of the trip were, first of all, are the cries of the Savannah at night. I loved laying there at night, even though I was scared to death, especially in the beginning. I love listening to the cries of the Savannah. I love listening to the monkeys outside and the hippos and the giraffe, or not the giraffes, but the elephants going through, and the lions at 2 a.m. is usually when the lions start, and the hyenas were always going. And so every night was like I called it the African Symphony, because every night was a little different. It was like a different music, and we'd wake up in the morning and talk about, what did you hear last night? Did you hear that leopard bark at 1 a.m? Did you hear the lions at 3? I mean, it was just, every night was just amazing. But it was scary because, you're just behind a tent. But the other things that were special moments was just my time with the people. More so, you'd think you go to Africa and the special time is with the animals, but that's amazing, but it's not as amazing as the people. So hearing the stories, like we would sit in the dining hut. Sometimes we would come back for lunch and we'd sit in the dining hut, and Joel, who was kind of like the maitre d', I guess, of camp, and we called him the secret sauce because he just made camp. I mean, he had the funniest stories, but he wasn't even trying to be funny, but he just would tell us so many stories and just was so educated about Tanzania, and he would just mesmerize us with his stories. And I just loved him. I could have sat and listened to him all day. And same thing with Lillian. But Lillian was with us during the day all day long, because we would usually leave at 6 a.m, and unless we came back for lunch, then we'd be gone till 6 or 7 at night. So we were together all day long, and on and off the Land Cruiser. But I loved hearing her stories, and of her becoming a game ranger, of her having to spend time out in the wilderness by herself with just a knife for 3 days and survive. That was part of her training. And I just can't even imagine sleeping out there like that. They'd come check on her once a day and give her, it's like what happens the rest of the time. But anyway, it's just amazing, But,
I mean, obviously the hunting part of this is hugely like connective to what your experience was. Have you always been active in the hunting community? Was this something you had growing up with a parent, or how did you enter into that whole universe?
Well, I did grow up in a hunting family in Pennsylvania. So my brothers hunted, my dad hunted, we hunted deer. And turkey. So we ate deer and turkey. That was part of what I did growing up. So I never was against hunting. I always understood it when it came to sustenance, and I understood you need population control in populated places. If not the deer, you're just hitting them on the road. I understood all that. But yet I became emotionally attached to African animals. Well, I ended up marrying a hunter because I grew up in a hunting world. It wasn't out of the realm for me to end up meeting a hunter, and I ended up marrying him. And then his dream was to go to Africa. So now that was a little different. When he told me he wanted to hunt a zebra, I was like, a zebra? That's like a horse to me. You can't be wanting to hunt a zebra. And I was really torn. I was really torn with the whole African animals and the whole hunting thing. And I knew hunters as people and as good, hardworking individuals with good morale. I knew their conservation too. So I didn't think of hunters as evil. So I was willing to go there and experience it for myself. But I went from questioning it to totally getting it and becoming a staunch supporter of hunting in Africa because, hunting more than anything protects habitat. I don't know if you want to get into this a little bit, but the main threat to wildlife throughout the entire world is loss of habitat. Hunting protects habitat in its natural state. There's a lot of other benefits, but that's the number one benefit. Now, a lot of people tend to think that photo tourism can take the place of hunting tourism, but most of those places are already used up. The places that photo tourists want to go are taken. The places where there's a lot of animal, where there's infrastructure, where tourists can get to quickly. Tourists don't want to come to places like I don't want to say all tourists. Most general tourists do not want to travel the distance we went to get to where we were, to sleep in a tent with no air conditioning, no real bathrooms, no swimming pool, no infrastructure, your tsetse flies. In fact, we had tsetse flies there, so we had to deal with the whole tsetse fly thing. I mean, it was just an eye-opening thing for me to realize, yeah, you're right. If I was a tourist, I would have landed in Arusha. I would have drove a few hours to the 7 national parks that were right nearby. I would never have come to this location where there's not as many animals, where they run from you. Because a lot of people think that these animals are just going to stand like a shooting gallery. But in hunting concessions, they run. It's not like the Serengeti that you see on TV and National Geographic. They're not just standing there like for you to take aim at. It's a lot of work to get these animals, and so I came to understand that, and I came to understand, and I do want to mention this because it's so important. But the people of Africa have to have a reason to protect these animals. They're dangerous and destructive. I mean, an elephant can destroy a villager's crops in one night, and then that's their food for the entire year. I mean, we can't understand that concept, but they don't have grocery stores. 3-4 months ago, 3 kids were taking care of their cattle. They had some of their cattle had strayed off. They were going looking for their cattle. 3 kids were killed and eaten by lions as the brother watched from a tree above. Now, can you imagine Americans dealing with that? So this brother escaped, luckily, injured, but he had to watch 3 brothers get eaten by lions. So this is some of the realities that they deal with that we don't understand from our pushy little worlds, and it's just an eye-opening experience when you're over there and discover that stuff and learn that kind of stuff, that they,
When I was there in Malawi, they had recently moved all the elephant. They had the government had come in, tranquilized and moved all the elephants because of exactly what you're talking about. And the children were missing school all the time because their job was to sit in these little raised platforms. And if elephants came in, they had to ring noisemakers and try to scare the elephants off from destroying their crops or trampling villages. It was like the most dangerous animal they had was an elephant, and it was a constant threat.
Exactly. And as true as I get these alerts from Africa all the time now, and I'd say, at least once a week, once every 2 weeks, somebody's getting killed by an elephant because they're doing, like you said, they're trying to scare them off by rattling pots and pans. They're doing anything they can to protect their crops. And kids, there's a lot of areas where they close schools for certain periods of time because the elephants are in town and it's too dangerous. So it's a whole different way of living than what we see.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And when one of the things that Lily taught me was, we came across some elephant bones, and we don't know for sure. They hadn't been a part of the hunting, so we don't know if it died of natural causes, if it was poached. But there was no tusk, so that said something. But that opened up a conversation because I tended to think of poaching simply as poaching for elephant tusk or poaching for rhino horn, but there are so many kinds of poaching. There's wood poaching, there's meat poaching, there's bushmeat poaching. There's all these kind of poaching that destroys habitat and destroys these animals. And so that's another thing that hunters do. When hunters enter in an area, poachers are much less likely to be there. And they usually position hunting concessions around the national parks as a buffer zone to try to protect the parks. And plus, that's an overflow for the parks, but it also adds as protection. And like lions and leopards, okay, let's face it, those are one of the things that people don't understand the most, because we think of them as being threatened. But it's still important to have well-managed hunting of lions and leopards, because if not, the villagers would just rather kill them. I mean, if that animal isn't worth a lot of money and there isn't a reason to try to find ways to mitigate the danger and to work with it, they would rather just poison it. I mean, that's how most deaths of carnivores happen in Africa. It's mostly, aside from habitat loss, it's through snares and poison. So they poison a carcass, it kills everything that eats it. That means mothers, babies, any age. It's not just the old males past breeding. And then it kills anything else that feeds on it, of course. So it's just, there's just so many complexities, so many things to understand that I learned when I was over there that I had just never considered that before.
Yeah. And I mean, it's crazy because I mean, you're right. You wouldn't think about any of this stuff, especially since we don't live there, and all we get are glimpses in the news, really, So it is really incredible that you took the time to write this book and to help people understand. Because because I was one of your beta readers as well, and when I walked into it, I had no knowledge. So I was walking into it with a blank perspective. And I mean, it was really fascinating for me hearing you or reading about you talking about both sides of the spectrum. And, I mean, you made me cry. You made me cry a number of times because you had your sides of your story where it was like you can feel that triumph. And then you had your facts where you talked about what was going on with these people and how heartbreaking it can be.
I just want to point out, I know I'm not on camera, but I just want to point out that Sue's book is very educational, but it's not heavy, guys. I mean,
It's not heavy, no.
This particular conversation, is very educational, but understand that Sue's way of writing is very engaging and humorous.
Yes.
She's a brilliant writer because she adds these elements of humor that balances so well with the heavy topic. It's educational. She tells you about animals that you've never even heard of. She talks about, how they relate to the African people, but also her personal anecdotes and her personal experiences, which for me personally made the book phenomenal.
Yeah.
It took an educational nonfiction book and made it hella entertaining.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I knew that if you, even though this is my first book, I knew instinctually that I had to make the book fun and entertaining and just kind of weave in facts here and there as I could, because I wanted people to read it. I wanted people to get so caught up in the story and in the adventure, and then the other parts just kind of came with it. Because, I've read enough books just doing my research that you can learn this stuff, but they're dry and they're too factual. So I knew I needed to make it a fun book to read. And, and there is, I'm pretty crazy, stupid sometimes. So there's some comedy in there too. But anyway, I appreciate that you think I did that.
Yeah, it is really good. Like I said, I mean, I know I said it made me cry, but it made me laugh on so many occasions. And the second half of my original question, because I asked you what your favorite part was, I would say probably your least favorite part was the tsetse flies, huh? I mean, that's just my guess.
Or the bats.
Or the bats.
Or the bats. Yeah, it was definitely the tsetse flies. Luckily that bat, as much as I hated bats, it was a little bit cute for a bat. So that helped a little bit. The fact that, when it was sitting over our dining room table, but I still didn't like it being there. But I respected so much the fact that they were so protective of the animals. Even a bat, they wouldn't even shoo a bat away from our dinner table. So I love that part. But yeah, you're right. The tsetse flies are nasty. I mean, you cannot prepare for them. You read and you you take all this stuff and you try to get your mind prepared for it, but you cannot. Those things are just, I call them miniature vampires with wings because, and they won't die. They're like a vampire. They won't die. You hit them and they just come, you have to twist their heads off. That's what they do. They grab them and they twist their heads off to kill them. It sounds gross, but that's what, like the Tanzanians did. If they could pinch it on an arm and they would grab it and they would twist the head off. But, oh, they're nasty.
I don't like that.
The other hard thing was just saying goodbye. And you probably felt like this too, John. When you're saying goodbye to these people that you know, there's a good chance you are never going to see again. It was just literally heartbreaking. And fortunately, I am in contact with several of them that have access. Like Lillian has access to the computer sometimes when she's not on patrol, so I can keep up with her on Instagram and WhatsApp. But still, it was heartbreaking saying goodbye and not knowing if you'd ever see them again.
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially when you're meeting a bunch of little kids and you're like, yeah, they're just like kids. They're no different. You just have a language barrier. That's really the only difference. But they all just want to run and play, and they want to sing and they want to kick a soccer ball. But theirs are just made out of plastic bags that they've wrapped into a bundle. That's their soccer ball.
Well, we're actually, because here's something I'm going to warn you. If you ever go to Africa, once will never be enough. Ours was supposed to be a once in a lifetime experience, and it isn't. So we're going to Mozambique this year, and we're already buying soccer balls and hacky sacks and frisbees, and we're getting school supplies and already trying to figure out exactly what all we're going to do. Because this time we're going to be in an area where we're going to get to see some kids at the orphanages and schools. So I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Good for you. I will say I've not been able to go back yet. I really do want to, and I want to take my kids. I want them to experience it as well. But I'm in contact with this charity, so we're always like sending school supplies out. And my mom sponsors a student every year, so because it's the program is helping especially young girls from not getting stuck in a certain life, but can go and connect to a nursing school or get to higher education, so that you can sponsor a student through that process.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful to know. I may have to connect up with your mom. See about that. That sounds amazing.
So kind of my final question for you is, first of all, if you said that you had gone back and you were able to see the wilds of Africa again, I was wondering if you were planning on traveling anywhere else, if there was anywhere else that you had wanted to go that was kind of on a bucket list, and would you write another book about a new location?
Oh boy, I want to go everywhere. So, I want to go to Australia. I want to go to New Zealand. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go, and I want to go everywhere in Africa. So I want to hit every country. And I do want to hit the state parks. I want to be able to drive through a park and see the animals standing there and not running from us. Because, I would love to experience that part too. But yeah, I just love to travel. So, and I love to meet people. I think that's key. I like to, when I go somewhere, it's nice where you can embed yourself with locals somehow, so that you experience that part of it instead of just being a tourist, so to speak, if that makes sense. But anyway, so yeah, I would love to keep traveling, and whether I'm going to write a book about it or not, my husband right now would probably kill me if I ever did, because this has consumed my time and money, and so it's just like. He wants his wife back, he so I don't know. You never say never, but right now I'm just happy to get this important book, or what I feel is an important book. I'm just trying real hard to get that out into the world.
Yeah. And I'm going to switch off my green screen one last time just to show you guys the book. I had it right here.
Oh, here it is. I have it too. And I have this. other fantastic book.
Well, thank you.
And you can find it's on Amazon, of course. So, look for the book there, or follow me on Instagram. I'm there at SueTidwell.writer. So I'd like to, and I post every day about Africa, usually some little, educational thing about the animals or something else going on in Africa. So if you want to keep up with that kind of stuff, follow me and check me out. And Rina, I wish you the best of luck with your launch. I'm really just excited about your book, and I'm about halfway through it, but you've got me all intrigued and waiting to see what's going to happen and seeing what little twists you're going to throw into the plot. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, thank you so much. Well, Sue, you are more than welcome to stay as we bring in our next guest, or if you would like to duck out and enjoy the rest of your Monday evening, that's totally fine as well. So whatever you would like to do, my dear.
Okay. I'll probably just go ahead and duck out and watch from the sidelines, maybe. How's
All
that
right.
sound?
All right, absolutely. Now I want to go to Africa.
Good. Everybody needs to go to Africa. That's for sure. They need you over there for sure. It doesn't matter. They need general tourism as much as they need hunting tourism. They need both tourisms. So I don't ever want to advocate for one over another. I just think they need them both. So that's.
And I'll tell you, I think people need to see the world to understand and expand their own understanding of what's how to value and be grateful for the things we've got.
Yeah.
I think it's so true. I think it's easy to say things from over here when we don't truly understand it, but I just think it's totally gives you different perspective when you experience and get to know the people. Put things on a human scale, I think makes it totally different than just this concept. But when you actually get to know the people and feel for them, it makes a difference, I think.
Totally.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Sue, thank you so much for coming on and for sharing with everybody about your book and your experiences. It is truly amazing listening to you talk about everything that you have seen and have gone through.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And like I said, I wish you the best of luck and can't wait to keep reading my book. So.
Yay. Thank you so much. And absolutely, guys, you check out her book as well. Have a good night, Sue. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Nice to be done.
And back to back, we have another guest who is joining us for a second interview as well. And this is actually a bookstore here in Colorado. And our guest tonight, her name is Wendy. So I would like to bring her on. This is Miss Wendy from Books Are Awesome. Hello.
Hello. That was fascinating.
I know. Sue always has amazing things to talk about.
Yeah. Very cool.
So, how are you doing today?
I am doing just fine. How are you? It's very exciting. I've never done this, so I hope I do it right.
Right. Well, hey, we're testing the waters. Everybody's having a bit of fun tonight. So, you have a separate set of interview questions that I have prepared for you tonight because you are an independent bookstore.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people don't understand kind of, the differences between, you guys who run your independent bookstores and then, you like your big mainstream ones like Barnes and Noble or libraries and such. So first and foremost, I wanted to give you the spotlight and let you talk about your bookstore and what you guys do, what you sell, anything and everything that you would like to advertise.
Well, thank you. We opened right before the pandemic. So January, basically, of 2020, we opened our doors. Yay. It's not a huge store. It's about 2,500 square feet. I think that's right. 2,500 square feet. So it's about the size of your house if you put your house all in one big room and put bookshelves in it everywhere. It's nice. It was wonderful to open when we did. It kind of sucked with COVID, but it's a lifelong dream that we're realizing. And I'm there's so many things I've learned just doing it in terms of how publishing works and how books make it to market, and how local authors who write books who don't go the traditional publishing route through the big publishing houses, and we try and support them as much as we can. And actually, Rina, you were one of our first authors. Yay! So actually, when I remember when your mom came in, I don't know, were you with her? I don't even remember.
I think I was. I should have been.
I think you were. But and introduced us to your book, and at the time you were 19, so I think you must be 22 now. Something
21.
Like that? 21.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was just a lot of fun. And I apologize if there's background noise. I do have 3 little dogs who are desperate to get in this room, but we're keeping them out. So
that's okay. My dog's been a little yappy too, so you'll occasionally just see me mute because my dog's like, "Hello." Yes. So.
So it's just been a lifelong dream to do this. I mean, it's not something I've ever actually. I've never worked in retail, not even fast food. So it's brand spanking new to me. It's been a learning curve, and we did train with a bookstore in Florida, and a bookstore owner program put on by the ABA, the American Booksellers Association. And again, people, even people in my own family have said, gosh, why are you doing this? Because Amazon does so many other things besides books that they've really lost a lot of, and also Amazon just recently shut down all their brick and mortar stores, even their pop-ups. And they're trying to do everything just online. And there are people who want to visit a bookstore and look at the book and hear our opinion about what to read and things like that. So yeah, definitely me too. I was the Barnes and Noble girl because that's the closest one to us, and the tattered cover. Yeah. And independent bookstores they're not a dying breed. They were in the early 2000s, but since about 2010, Amazon is kind of, I don't want to diminish Amazon because they're huge. I couldn't, even if I tried, but their focus is not just books. It used to be just books. Now it's everything, cloud computing and going to the moon and getting Jeff Bezos off the planet. And I said that. But anyway, so their focus is very much different. We also we pay local taxes. I read a lot of things. Jeff on the moon. I love that. Sorry. I just saw that. Sorry. I'll stop reading the chirons. Okay. That's probably on my do not do list. But anyway, so we can tell you a little bit more about especially the local authors, and about the books that we've read. Last year, I read 84 books, which was a lot. But some of them were kids' books, so they read a lot faster.
It all counts, Wendy. It all counts.
It does count.
If I read the same book every night to my daughter at bedtime, it all counts, right?
Yes. And some of my favorite books have been, my favorite discoveries have been the new kids' books. And for whatever reason, I think author illustrators are amazing, and I think they're a wonderful breed. But in any case, so just putting it out there and making a place in Parker that people at 5:30, if their kid says, hey, I need Romeo and Juliet for school tomorrow, there's someplace they can go. Not on Monday nights because we close at 5, but on regular nights when we're open till 7, there's someplace they can go and pick up that book locally and not have to download it. Libraries, from my mouth to God's ear, libraries are the best things on the planet Earth, because library is the one place in America where you're not expected to spend money. It's retail free zone, and a place of ideas. Who wouldn't love libraries? We love libraries. We have so many librarians who come in to see us at the bookstore. They not only tell me about the newest books, but they share their experiences and which types of books are better to read out loud, because we've tried to do some story times, but honest to God, the local Douglas County Library, I'm giving them a shout out, does amazing things with story times that we just can't duplicate because we're too small. But we love the libraries. I don't compete with the libraries, because if you go to the library and check out a book and then decide I have to own this because I need to give it to someone, you can do that with my store. You can't do that with a library book. You'll get in trouble. Don't try it. You can't do that with an ebook that you buy on a Kindle. You cannot give it to someone without giving them your Kindle. So,
one of the
again,
it reminds me of my dad, because like I grew up with people loving reading and sharing books and all of that kind of thing. And one of the things he's done every Christmas, it's a great tradition, and he reads books like he'll read books in every possible format. Like he'll get library books, and he'll buy. He keeps his favorites from the year, gets them, and at Christmas he lays them all out on a table, and we draw straws, and everybody gets to take books home with them.
That's
It's the best.
Something we should try, because
it's the best. And so we all, it's always his favorite books, and he's like, oh, this one's really good. This is a drama. This is a thriller. This is a mystery. He's got a very broad taste, a lot of nonfiction. And it's just the best Christmas part, because the kids all get their presents, but the adults are like, yeah, I got some socks or whatever. But like, then it's like the books come out and everybody's there, and you're jockeying for who gets to pick first. Oh, he's going to pick that one. What am I going to get? It's a draft. It's very exciting.
Yeah, that is nice. That's an excellent idea. I never thought of that. One thing I will say that I didn't realize before I owned and ran the bookstore is how much I get information from, people trying to sell me books, be they local authors or the publishing houses. But when someone walks in and says, oh my God, I just read this book, I love that. I love when they get that excited. People say that I do that too, because I do, because I love books. I always have a favorite. So I love recommending it. Oh, did you like that? Then you're going to like this. And it's something that an algorithm can't do for you. It can a little bit, but it's more personalized. So anyway.
So how long did it take you? Because you said that it was kind of a lifelong dream to open a bookstore, but how long was it from like when you kind of started saving money to when you opened your doors? Like how long did it take you to achieve that goal?
Almost, I would say a little over a whole year. Just about a whole year. We started really talking about it in 2018. In 2019, we spent all of 2019 planning. We actually signed the lease for the space in September of 2019. And we were told by the contractor, who I hope is not listening, this is a 3-week project. And 12 weeks later, So it definitely takes more time than you think. But it's the best job I've ever had. I will say it's the best job I've ever had. So
that is awesome. Yeah. What would you say the hardest part about running the bookstore is, just from what you've seen so far?
It's knowing that my tastes, this is hard. It's knowing that my tastes aren't necessarily what everyone else's tastes are, because Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen got together and put a book out called Renegades was it last year or a year ago now? I can't even remember. It might have been 2020. And they put a book out called Renegades. And I thought, Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen, who's not going to love this book? Yeah, no. It's knowing that, you know what, I may think that it's the goofiest thing ever, that James Patterson, may he rest in peace, he's still alive. Anyway, he's sold to the devil. I'm just saying, because I don't know how the man writes quite that much. But he is so prolific, and you would think it's got to be, but it's not. And everyone loves it, and people come in and grab his stuff, whether that's the kids stuff. He's got some middle reader books called Dog Diaries that are amazing. It's not Dog Man. It's
my
Dog
youngest
Diaries.
is obsessed with James Patterson. She's not even 12 yet, and she's like, if she loves animals and she loves his style, and so she has read pretty much all of his books.
Exactly. And again, maybe not my taste, but people love it. And I mean, just learning what people like and learning what will sell is been a big learning curve, and that's the hardest thing for me. Not learning, I love learning, but learning that I'm not always right.
That's my brother. He's popping up banners as we go along.
Yes.
So, would you say that your favorite part of running a bookstore is also giving book recommendations as well, or do you have a separate like favorite thing that you look forward to when you go in?
No, my favorite thing is interacting with the people. And it's actually I'm learning more about myself the older I get. I'm half introvert, half extrovert. So this is great, but I'm going to need to recover. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm putting it out there, but I'm going to need to sit quietly somewhere and just be afterwards.
Big mood.
And it's
Big
the same
mood.
thing. Yeah.
It's the biggest mood. I haven't spoken for a while. I'm still here, by the way.
Yeah. It's true though, because you put energy out there, and especially we do book groups. We do book groups every Wednesday. So we have what am I trying to call them? Book clubs. Thank you. Book clubs every Wednesday, just once a month. So we have classics, we have romance, we have new releases, and we have mystery. So every Wednesday at 7, I'm on, and the little light bulb goes on, and suddenly I become the flight attendant, you know. And I like it, but it's draining a little bit more than I'm used to, because I'm not used to doing that every day and for a good solid hour once a week with that many people. But it's a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoy it. Definitely.
So what would you say your biggest event, or like the event that you are like most proud of? Do you have one, or do you have multiple?
We have multiple, but every year the trade association, the ABA, puts on something they call Independent Bookstore Day. And this year it's April 30th. It's always the last Saturday in April, I think. And Independent Bookstore Day, April 30th. It's usually our biggest sales day, even bigger than December, which is amazing. But it just getting people in and letting them know we're there, because we still have people. We've been in Parker now for 2 years and 4 months now, and we still have people every day who walk in and say, I didn't know you were here. Didn't this used to be a mattress store? And I'm thinking, okay, first, we've been here for 2 years and 2 months. But second, it was empty for 5 years before the mattress store. So the mattress store, the last time you could have possibly seen it was 2013. So no, no. But funny story. So the mattress store kept their body pillows in the ceiling, and they left them there accidentally. Yeah, I know. Fun. Anyway.
How long before you found those?
Oh no, the contractor found those because he had to, redo some of the ceiling tiles. So yeah. So he's like, "Do you want them?" I'm like, "They've been in the ceiling for 5 years. No, thank you."
No.
Speaking of tsetse flies, let's say no. Just say no to body pillows and the drop ceiling.
Now, Wendy, I'm sure you love all kinds of books.
Yes.
Do you have a few favorite genres, like those go-to, like the first section of a new bookstore or the library that you go to? Like, where do you go first? What is your preference?
And see, my answer has changed over the years. It used to
course.
be historical fiction or history, because I love learning new things. And some of my favorite books are still in history, or autobiography or biography. Sorry. But I love romance now. It's definitely a great way to escape, especially from this fabulous COVID crap. Anyway, sorry, I won't curse, I promise. But in any case, so romances and rom-coms, we call them rom-coms because they're just so fun. They're 250 pages of, you're getting a happy ending. But I will say there's two that I'm going to point out. My favorite book for last year and my favorite book for the year before were both in science fiction fantasy.
Ooh.
And last year it was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, who wrote The Martian. Oh my God, it's so good.
He's so great.
It was, fabulous. His second book, his first book, The Martian, second book, don't read it. Third book, excellent. And then the year before was 2020 was The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. And it was fantasy in that there's magic in the world that he set it in, but the world looks and sounds a lot like the world we live in. And there's a guy, Linus, who's a kind of a big cog in the drone that is the machinery of the government. And he gets out of that, and he blossoms, and he finds his found family, and it's just lovely. Also, YA. And I think it's because we're leaving young adults with a world that maybe could look nothing like this, that the best/worst dystopian universes are all found in young adult. So yeah. And so I really like YA stuff. There's a lot in there, and there's a lot to take apart and put back together, and that's where you find it. So
I will say, like you mentioned, romantic comedy. I'm a Nick Hornby fiend, and whenever he's got a new book, like, I mean, he doesn't guarantee you the happy ending, but like you're gonna laugh your butt off the whole way through. Sorry, now I'm cursing. Like I thought I love his style. His sense of humor slays me.
Yeah. And that's important too, because sometimes you just want a laugh escape, or
Right.
I mean, hey, I stock Irma Bombeck books from the 70s. Ask your mom. From the 70s. Oh God, it's probably too young for her even. If life is a bowl of cherries, why am I always in the pits? She wrote about 1974, and it was spot on, and a housewife in 1974 and all the expectations. And she's hilarious. I put her in classics, man, because that's where that woman belongs. Great Gatsby only because I have to. Oh. Sorry. Anyway.
So would you say that you want to open another location, or do you like just having the one independent, like your guys's crown jewel?
For right now, we're going to keep just Parker. But long term, again, everyone's on the 5-year and 10-year plan. Right now, the 10-year plan is just keep on keeping on and grow it as big as it can get. And if it gets too big, I mean, Elizabeth needs a bookstore. Castle Rock has one, but another option would be to maybe change locations and add a cafe or something, because that's a whole other dream. But yeah, so yes, for right now, it's keep on keeping on, man.
Nice. Do you guys have any big goals or any plans for the future with your location right now, or anything coming up that people should know about?
The Independent Bookstore Day on April 30th. Continuing with the book clubs once a week, every month. We've also partnered with some of the local high schools. We're trying to get into the others where they basically, again, they're not telling people you have to buy your book from us, but they tell us what books they're reading, and then we make sure we have them in stock. And then, so that's definitely another way into the world. So.
Nice. Now I had a separate question here. What was the hardest part setting up the bookstore? Because I know you said the contractor took a little bit longer than you guys initially anticipated.
A lot longer.
But did you have like a hard time getting book inventory, or
no,
like
actually,
setting up the store?
The book inventory was actually fairly easy. I mean, as easy as it can be. We had to go through, 19,000 titles and kind of decide what we wanted. But the hardest part was we had talked to the contractor, we talked to the fixture people, Franklin Fixtures out of Tennessee, I believe, and they were amazing. but they got us our stuff when we expected to need it, which was right before Thanksgiving. And so we had all of our fixtures in the middle of the store while they were putting in the floor. So they had to put in a couple feet of floor and then move the fixtures. And then
Wow.
put in a couple more feet and move the fixtures.
Wow.
And I wouldn't recommend that. But at the same time, kind of their fault. So.
And did you always have a vision for how the bookstore would look, or did you just kind of piece it together as inventory came in?
One of my favorite words is curation. And it's a good word because it really is. It's deciding that even though Seneca wrote some awesome books 2,000 years ago, that I only maybe need 3 of them and to be representative. And that's a terrible example because actually I think I have all of Seneca's work. But there are certain things you need and certain things that can go by the wayside. Not one person has bought The Wizard of Oz, and I read not only The Wizard of Oz, but I read all of the freaky deaky sequels that he wrote, because some of them really are. So I originally got them, but they just, no one wants that anymore. They are a little too weird and a little too out there. But there are things that'll go forever. I mean, What to Expect When You're Expecting has been updated, and it's awesome, and new mothers still need it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So curation, fixtures. As for the color purple, very important to me because I love purple. Royalty, yay. So purple and black are the colors because black unfortunately does show dust, but not as much as white. But yeah, so.
Well, is there anything that you want to talk about, or is there anything like that you would be passing on wisdom to like anybody who wouldn't know like how an independent bookstore works, or is there anything you would want to advertise for anybody, like just for anybody who maybe also be looking to open a bookstore?
We tend to have our author events, our local author events are Saturdays, usually noon to 2, and almost every Saturday for the next couple months, I'm booked with a local author appearing 12 to 2. So if you're not doing anything on a Saturday, come on down 12 to 2. You'll meet someone who's written a book or 5 or 12, and they will be happy to talk to you about the process that they used and about their creative process. And that's amazing. I mean, yeah. So that's a lot of fun. Please always come 12 to 2. We always have amazing cookies on Saturdays. Our baker honor bakes. Yay. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Wendy, thank you so much for coming on and for letting us bombard you with questions.
Thank you both. And I just want to say, if you do ever get a chance to go to Africa, we did in 2016, we went to South Africa. I cried standing next to the elephant because it was just such a majestic, you could tell this was a smart creature. And I'm a big baby, so yeah, I cried.
I'm a big baby too.
Mom. Well, so thank you so much. You are more than welcome to stay if you would like, or if you would like to go and enjoy the rest of your evening, that is totally fine as well. It is up to you.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for joining us and for coming on to your first online event.
Yay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
That was cool.
That was really cool. Having both of them on was just phenomenal. Oh my gosh. So now we move into the second segment of the show, which we have another guest who has been waiting backstage to come on and to talk with us. I hear
his power level is really high. So I don't know if your channel can handle it right now.
I know. Well, a Cage channel. I would hope the Cage channel can handle it. I mean, mine's kind of dead. So, please, everyone, welcome Super Russ 9000. Oh, you got a book represent.
Oh, hey guys, what's up?
How is it going, good sir?
How are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you. All right. So I know that you wanted to come on and you had just wanted to talk a little bit because all three of the people on the panel right now were beta readers. You all were beta readers for the book. And I know that you wanted to come on and you had just wanted to talk and say hi.
I had to come on and just talk about this book for a minute. It's amazing. I didn't read real books. I've been like all about comic books my whole life, and then I met you and Sharon, and y'all have been like educating me, broadening my horizons, and I've actually started to read real books because of these.
Oh,
That's cool.
I was gonna say what
And
else?
no shame on the comic book. That's a book, brother. You I'm not gonna. You shouldn't throw any shade at yourself for this.
I mean, hey, always time for a good comic. But Russ, what else have you read since you started reading more novels and such?
Another friend of mine is actually a self-published author as well, Timberly Price, and I've gotten both of her books so far.
Awesome.
That's cool. Look at you supporting all these young authors, man. That's awesome.
That is really, really cool. So, all right. I would say, because I'm sliding my eyes over to John, because John, I know you were waiting for Russ to come on so that you could do your first giveaway.
Yeah. So I should not say. Rina has a book bundle that I've already paid for. Shipping is included. It's been paid as long as you're in the United States. This bundle can go to you if you win the trivia question I'm going to ask here in a little bit. Or if you've already got the book, you've already purchased it, which is awesome. Thank you for doing that, because you can go to Rina's website and purchase the book right now and buy it if you want. You can tell her where to ship it. So you've got a niece, a nephew, you've got a friend in the community, you got somebody that you want this to go to because you've already read it, because I know a lot of your fans are in the chat and a lot of them have already pre-ordered. If you've read it, you can send this bundle wherever you want it to go. You just tell Rina, and that's where the book bundle will go. So it's the first two books and it's the Christmas book, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It's the first one, the second one, and the little interlude in between.
So you get all three as a giveaway. I'm going to give it away right now, and I'm going to ask a trivia question. I'm going to be, I'm a teacher. I'm going to be hard on spelling. I don't want a misspelled word. So you've got to spell the word I want correctly. It's a word that means a lot to me, so I want it spelled correctly.
That rules me out. Sometimes I can't even get close enough for spell check to know what I'm trying to do.
So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to ask the question. You're going to type the first correct answer in the chat wins. Now, if nobody knows it, because I'm going to ask a question relating to Burning Block About 99. So you're going to have to be a fan of the channel we're on right now. You will know, and you can't answer, Cade. You can't win on your own channel. That's shenanigans. So yeah, you've got to. This is like, you guys. I watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail recently, and like the whole beginning when the credits are running, and then like there's like the subtitles are like just some guy randomly saying stuff, and then they're like, the titles stop, and it's like we had to fire the guy doing the titles, and then they start up again. And then the shenanigans start again, but now they're like in Dutch or whatever. It's like,
oh my god,
this is Cade backstage right now. He's just the shenanigans guy. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question. It's a one-word answer that I'm looking for, spelled correctly. If nobody knows it, then I guess we'll have to come up with something a little more a little more easy. But I think Cade's fans will know this. Okay, so here's how it goes. I spent a lot of setup on that. One of my favorite videos from this channel involved a contest where the loser had to go out in public wearing something. What specific thing did the loser have to wear?
Oh my God.
And that video is so old.
It's so good. It's
2
my
years
favorite.
ago.
It's my favorite. So what did the loser of the bet have to wear out in public? What did they have to wear? Now, if nobody knows this because it's just too random, I mean, it's fine. I'm totally fine with that, and I'll ask an easier question. But
This question is
I know the
time.
answer.
I don't have any clue.
Harmony's
Any
like,
of that
"Hey,
meant.
somebody's got to dig back through the archives 4 years back to when
I
this
was gonna
video
say,
actually
Yeah,
dropped.
I think
I'm
this
going
one is,
through Kate's channel.
But
Yeah, that was
I'm
kind of
sure
weird.
your mom is laughing at least about it. So that's all that really matters is I got Sharon. That's all.
Well, at
'Cause
least it wasn't
she-
an Indiana Jones like.
I was gonna say
reference.
we
Yeah,
could have made
yeah.
the Indiana Jones reference.
Kurt knows. He got the first letter correct, your brother.
Oh, yeah.
All right. It was not a cape or a tutu. It was, yeah. A cornucopia.
I don't know.
Like a hat. Just wear it like a hat. Nope. All right, maybe this one
Russ,
was a
do
little
you
too tricky.
remember? Do you remember
I
what it
do.
was?
I do indeed.
This whole
But
I was like,
I don't think I can enter. Besides, I
No.
already have all
I
three.
was gonna say
books.
you've already got the book.
Can I enter and prize tag someone?
Ooh, I'll tell you what.
That's up to John. It's John's giveaway. I will ship it anywhere. So
I mean, that seems fair? Question mark. What is?
It's up to
Well,
you.
I mean, we know that Russ is a fan, so
yeah, I mean, Russ is
I
a fan of the
mean,
channel. Yeah.
He
So I
is.
mean, we'll give people one more minute to see if anybody can guess it.
Okay, we'll give everybody a hint. I was the person who had to
Mom
wear
had to wear it.
Sharon had to.
parcel through grocery store.
Yep.
Oh no.
Kate and I were playing video games, and I talked a whole lot of smack, and I
So
lost.
good.
I
So
lost
good.
horribly, and so as a result, I had to wear this certain thing through the produce section of my daughter's workplace.
Old wolf. Old wolf.
Yay!
Old Wolf came through.
Old Wolf just pops in. What are we talking about? Oh yeah.
It was a
Congrats,
mustache.
Old Wolf.
It was a mustache. Shout out to you, Old Wolf. So now, Old Wolf, if you've already purchased the books and they're on the way, I don't know if he's already purchased.
He is not.
No.
Then there you go, Tony. You have now a set of all three books and coming to you, buddy.
Woo! Congratulations.
And
So
you know
good.
what? Rena, sign his books right now.
Let's do
live.
it. Let's
That's
sign
right.
it live. Yes. Okay. All right. I had some prop books here, but we're gonna use them anyway. All
I
right.
like glitter and duct tape's answer. A Wonder Woman costume.
I mean, those are for.
That would
I mean,
have been perfect for Sharon.
It's
That would
possible for
never-
future contests between Cade and Mom.
I would wear a ZZ Top beard before I wore a Wonder Woman outfit. Sorry, guys.
Shame.
All right.
I know.
My backup question was, what are Sharon's favorite and least favorite superheroes?
That would have been really easily easy.
Hopefully, some people knew that. And
All right.
bravo, I would have accepted either of those spellings. If you really wanted to go Old English with the OU, I probably would have been cool with that.
All right, we're turning that off for a second. We're gonna pull this down so that you guys can see the top layer of the book here. But I knew the green screen would delete them out of existence if I left the green screen on. All right, so yes, we're doing this live. God, this is kind of weird. I mean, the only thing that gets weirder than this is signing them live in front of people.
But you're an old pro at that now.
But you get to have like a little conversation with them too, right? That's kind of fun.
And
Yeah,
you have like one of the coolest signatures I've seen.
really? I have a full confession to make. I stole my signature from my dad.
Really?
His signature is very reminiscent to mine, and that's just because I really liked how he did his, because he does the first, like the 2 letters of his first and last name, but then he just does the little scribbles. His is a
That's
lot
really cool.
neater. His is a lot neater than mine, but I totally stole it because I thought it looked cool.
Wait, what was that? Kid just hopped on screen randomly.
He
He was showing off his book.
Oh, like, what the heck was that?
No, I have my screen tilted down so I can't see what's going on.
Tony said spell my name right from the guy earlier in the chat who was like, "Oh, spelling counts. I'm out."
Ah!
I saw that, Tony. You can't slip past the teacher.
I was going to say, how does spelling go with your girls' homework? Because you're a teacher and you know exactly how it's supposed to be.
I was very hard on them, and they will happily, or not, they'll happily regale you with how difficult I am. But yeah, you do it right. But nowadays, everything so much is on computers, and all the teachers are like fine with computers. So like they've got Grammarly and spell check and all these things. It's like that has become an issue of the past. But if you look at my daughter's text messaging, whew, that's an eye opener. That's an eye opener.
I'm the same way. See, I think I was kind of the generation that switched between all paper and then all Chromebooks. Because when I was in elementary school, you know, all of our like standardized tests were the little bubbles in the little booklets.
Scantron.
But by the time I got into senior year, they were all digital. And I just it's crazy. And I would say like I have good grammar when I'm like making emails and stuff, but not when I'm texting. So, but here are
you can get one of these on Rina's website. You can get your own.
I know. You know what's funny?
Oh,
we
yeah.
haven't sold.
we're all wearing them. Yes.
we have not sold
Swagtastic.
a single book.
Yes,
We have
I
not
am
sold-
also wearing them.
Harmony's wearing
Awesome
hers.
shirt designs.
Yes.
I have a gray shirt on, but you guys can't see that. So, in theory, yes, I do have one on.
In theory.
In theory.
So see now how you're gonna have to rectify this is you're gonna have to draw one of the shirts with the design on it. Just in case.
Actually, I have an idea. I have a genius idea. Here we go. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna paste it. Where is it? Paste. Make smaller. Done.
Nice.
That's fantastic. I love it.
When the Datso is wearing the Datso merch.
Nice.
You know it. You right.
There we go. There we go.
Oh yeah, no, Tony, they don't teach cursive anymore. I don't know if my brother had cursive when he was in elementary school. I honestly don't remember.
I have
Yeah.
cursive in mine.
Yeah, but I had cursive in mine too. Cursive has actually forever changed my handwriting because you know kids generally do the Y with the straight tail or G's with just a little curve. But when I got into cursive, it changed my Y's and my G's forever. I go all the way around. Anybody who's gotten a handwritten note from me, you will see when I say thank you, the tail on the U or on the Y just goes absolutely everywhere. So, but John, thank you so much for contributing to that giveaway. Absolutely.
My pleasure.
Awesome.
Got to get these books into people's hands, just like Sue was saying.
I know. I've actually had 51 pre-sale books go out so far between
That's
bookstores
awesome.
and people ordering. So it has been amazing.
So cool.
Will there be signings, live signings at bookstores?
Yes, there will
this one?
be. So
Awesome.
Books Are Awesome and I have already set up a signing. That's why I was like, yes, when she mentioned it. So we have a signing set up with them in a few weeks from now. And then
Beginning of May, I think.
Beginning of May,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I'm also there is a bookstore in Colorado. It's like the very southern half of Colorado. I sent them, they were like the first bookstore I ever reached out to. And they were like the first bookstore that said, yeah, we'll take some of your books. And somehow they have sold like 50, like I've given them somewhere in the range of 30 to 50 copies.
Oh, wow.
And they've sold almost all of them. And I'm like, what? So I've been trying to get a signing with them for like 2 years, but because of COVID, they weren't holding it.
Yeah.
So this summer they've opened it back up, and I'm like spamming their inbox, like, please, please, I've been asking for 2 years. Like, come on. So, and then I'm sure Rina making bank. So, and then I'm sure that, I have a bookstore in Castle Rock that I've done signings with, and another one in Salida that may want to do one again with us. So it's just going to be around Colorado this year, but we're still fingers crossed that we'll get at least 3 or 4 this summer. That is the hope.
Nice.
So we're gonna keep the ball rolling. We have another giveaway from Cookie.
Let's
just
show the
a little
art
podcast.
real quick.
You want to re-show the art real quick? Okay, all right. I'm getting backstage advice.
I was gonna say, if Cade wants to make your screen a little bigger.
Here we go.
Wow. Digital art.
You guys can even see the gore one. Wow, look at that. Wow, look.
Oh yeah, this is the one that couldn't make it to the actual shirt prints because Redbubble doesn't allow gore.
I know, it's so sad because it looks so much better. It looks so much better with gore. That's fine. It's fine.
So I'm gonna turn off the green screen real quick. Hi, green background. So that way it doesn't kill the art. So I just want to throw out, if anybody has just hopped in and you didn't hear me earlier, we have these art pieces that we did, and they are available for purchase right now on my website. So and you can see the shine on these as well.
They're so shiny.
So the big one and the small one are both up on my website right now. So it's this one and this one. And you can see the gold, the shiny gold on that one. So these are both available on my website right now, and it's just a one click. Whoever gets it, gets it. And then we have the 2 surprise pieces, which to do these, it's whoever DMs me on Instagram gets these ones. They are $90, just so people are aware before you go like, yeah, I want it. And then,
but that includes a book.
But
and
it includes
shipping.
the books and
Yeah.
shipping. Yeah. So that's why the price point is, because we wrap these up. We wrap them up in bubble wrap and we make sure that they're safe. And then a book is also included in the bundle. So we had this one, which was the Scythe with the electric blue. I love that blue. It turned out so cool against all the rocks. And then we also have the Steelers, which I don't know.
Best one.
I was gonna say I'm pretty torn. I liked the Naveem one a lot, but I'm torn between this one and the Naveem one.
That one's my favorite. I like the mama cat one and that one. My least favorite is definitely the electric one, though.
Oh,
I don't like it. The shading is all right, but it doesn't. It's not worth it.
Totally worth it.
It's always worth it.
Totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Cookie, just a little podcast. He also bought 2 books, and he is putting one out for a giveaway tonight. So, it's going to be one of these. And if you have one already and you want to A-OK it, like I said earlier, I will do it anywhere. I will ship anywhere in the world. There is no limit. So, if you have a friend who you think deserves a book, I will send it out to them. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to have a number between 1 and 30. And whoever guesses the number will get this one.
42.
Russ.
7.
I had to.
All right, hang on. So I'm gonna hijack my brother's account real quick because we're both logged in on the same account. I'm gonna drop a line in the chat, and when I drop this line, people are going to guess from 1 to 30, and I have a number. It's picked out in my head. Are you ready? Set, go. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, that's the line. So everybody start guessing your numbers, and whoever, you can guess multiple times. Whoever guesses it first will get this book either for their own or for an A-OK prize tag. You guys can guess too if you want to drop the number in the chat and you want to prize tag somebody. Oh, I was gonna say I think Old Wolf just got it.
Old Wolf won again?
Yeah, I think Old Wolf was just spamming so fast.
Okay, you know the best part about this is he says he's got the first 2 books. He needs just the 3rd book. So then now, Tony, you can give away my giveaway as a set to somebody. You can double gift that and keep your own set. You got 2 sets.
Oh my gosh.
Old Wolf on a winning streak, man.
I know. Well, he was spamming numbers so fast. I'm trying to make sure that nobody else got it before that line.
What was the number?
21. It's my birthday.
Oh gosh, that's kind of a big duh. Huh? Oh wow.
But he just went straight up the lineup though. So congratulations, Tony. You did win another one. So if you had wanted to prize tag any of these, or if you just want to hang on to them and call them precious, that is also totally fine. Just let me know after the show what you want to do with them. So, should we sign this one?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we got this one that we're also just gonna throw a signature into.
So right now, while you're signing, Kate is in the process of making the wheel.
For my
all the
giveaway.
people.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So while Kate is setting that up, I want to ask my panel members real quick. What do you guys have going on? I mean, I know we always kind of do like the end of the show, like going around, but I want to give you guys a chance real fast. What have you guys been up to? What's been going on your channels that you want to plug or talk about?
I've been churning out daily videos every day. Some of them are kind of garbage, but
Russ.
You know, when you do a daily video every single day, you kind of get pressed for ideas, and I'm trying to shoot for 365 days.
Hey, come on, let's do it.
Year. And I'm throwing out just like random shorts in between the videos too, and live streams here and there. So I'm like on the YouTubes all the time doing something. Some of it's serious, some of it's insane, some of it's me pretending to cook frozen lasagnas. It's just a variety of stuff.
Well, that is awesome. It takes a lot of dedication to do the video a day, even if they're only a couple of minutes. So you're doing really good plugging away at that, man.
Appreciate that.
All right.
My channel's still dead if you wanted to know. I don't do anything on YouTube.
I was gonna say, hey, your Instagram is bustling though. I mean, you posted like
it's okay. It's all right. It's doing fine. You know, I've remained at 430 something followers for the past at least half a year now. Which I mean, it's okay.
I mean, hey, 400 followers is nothing to sneer at. But guys, go check out Harmony because she posts all the art that she does for me on her Instagram, as well as, you know, her drawing challenges, the world that she is building. And it's amazing the stuff that she creates and that she puts up. So I would definitely tell you to go check out her Instagram.
Cookie, he's ducking out.
Oh, thank you, Cookie. Thank you. He's saying bye. Have a good night. And thank you again for contributing a book for our giveaway tonight. Thank you so much. I also, before he ducks out, I also did a show with Cookie and it goes live on his podcast tomorrow.
Oh, it's
So
tomorrow?
it's tomorrow.
Oh,
He planned it
snap.
perfectly.
Oh.
So if you guys want a follow-up for after the show, go check out Just a Little Podcast. He is on Spotify, and he did a interview with me, and it goes up tomorrow evening. So Cookie, thank you so much. So there we go. And then what about you, John?
I got it.
You got it.
I got it. I think I know how to put links in the chat. I'll figure it out.
My tech person will figure it out
shoot
for
it
you.
to Cade
Yeah,
and he'll put it up. for
yeah.
you.
Cade's been pretty on top of it. What about you, John? What have you been having going on lately?
We just finished the Comic Gories Winter Olympics. That was a whole lot of fun. Some shenanigans as always. Tomorrow I've got 2 shows on my channel though. I've got the X-Men show. I'm forcing the bearded comic bro to read an X-Men book. It's amazing. And not only that, it's an annual. So it's not even like a traditional chronological issue. It's an annual. But it should be a whole lot of fun. And then right after that, my friend TJ, the Slab Dragon Watson, he got a bunch of books back from CGC, and he wanted to do a grade reveal on my channel. So we're gonna have him on and go through the new books he got.
Nice, very nice. What do you say the next big hurdle for Comic Gories is? I mean, you did the Winter Olympics, but what would you guys say your next biggest event is going to be?
I don't know. I feel like people prefer the show the traditional format, so it tends to be that those episodes are way more popular than the shenanigans ones that we throw in from time to time. But I love the shenanigans, so for me, like the Olympics have been a blast. I've loved it. So we haven't planned anything big, but hopefully somewhere in May we're going to come back with just regular episodes into the summer.
Well, that's awesome. So, all right. Well, I'm just waiting for my tech guy. All right, he says it's ready. So, Cade, whenever you're ready, we are gonna bring up. I got Hamsling. Let's go. So, whenever you are ready, Cade. Oh, there he is. There's the glorious icon. We're gonna pull up the wheel and we're gonna do my giveaway. So this giveaway is actually for a shirt. One of the awesome shirts that you see on the panel. Mine's too low. One of the awesome shirts that you see on the panel, or any that is on my Redbubble. You guys have your free pick of which shirt you get to do. So, and these are all of our pre-sale people. I believe I have everybody. So this is everybody who did pre-sales and has just been supporting me all the way through up until today. So, Mr. Tech Guy, whenever you are ready,
Yeah.
you can click.
All right. You guys ready for this?
Let's do it to it. Can we get a drum roll?
Zoom. Do. It is Sue.
Nice.
Yo.
No, that came like right against the line there.
Yo, we have a winner.
All right. Well, so Sue, our interviewee of the evening, she just won a shirt. So when I will reach out to her and I will figure out which one that she wants. But Sue, if you are still in the chat, congratulations. And thank you to everybody who, entered and has bought pre-sales. Like I said earlier, it was 51 pre-sale in just between bookstores and all of you guys. So thank you all so much. And I really do want to give a shout out to everybody, because my Instagram was flooded with you guys shouting out the stream tonight and birthday wishes. Oh, hi. And birthday wishes. And I mean, I know I say like how appreciative I am of everybody, and I'm sure everybody's probably sick of my thank you with all the exclamation points, but I mean I really mean it, because I sit there and I think about what would have happened if I had tried to publish books and I hadn't known the community that I do, I probably wouldn't. I honestly don't know that I would have had the gall to publish more books this soon, because my original plan was, when I published Eye of the Dark, I was just gonna flick it out there and just kind of have it be like a, hey, I have credibility, I have a book. But when I met all of you guys, and all of you guys were really excited for my first book, it really inspired me to want to do more. And that's why I write, is because I know that somebody's going to pick it up. One of you guys is going to pick it up and you are going to enjoy it. And it means a lot having all of you behind me. And I see, like Tony, he is like the silent ninja. He will just pluck things off of Instagram and he will just repost it. And I mean, Russ, you've been making your 1 video a day videos for the build up, for the hype for today's stream. And John, I mean, you've been my host now for both my first book and my second book. And Harmony, I've known you for 2 years, and
I'm not very good at advertising. You don't have to say anything about it. You don't have to say anything about it. I'm very bad at advertising. I'm so bad at it. That's why I don't even try. You saw my attempts in the descriptions of the merch art. It was terrible. It was basically just yelling at my followers to be like, buy the book.
But
no link, no nothing. That's all they get.
But I mean, and people that I have met recently, I've met X Bravo, X11 Bravo. I met Tim Stacy for the first time just a couple of days ago. I mean, and I was on.
And you won his print.
And I won his print.
I know,
yes.
Right? That's cool.
And I mean, just from being on Rob's show and being on Cookie's podcast, and all the things that I get to do, it's all because of you guys. And I really, really just want to express my appreciation for each and every one of you, because without you guys, there wouldn't be a reason to publish books out for people to enjoy. So thank you.
Well, it's definitely our pleasure, because we get awesome books out of it.
I'm literally crying. You made me cry. Why would you do that?
As long as I get to draw more monster designs, I'm good with it. I like drawing monsters. They're cool.
I think, unless there's anything else that anybody wants to throw out, I think that's all I had on my itinerary for the evening. We went through all 3 of the giveaways. We had 2 amazing interviews on, and I had all of you guys on the boat with me. So thank you so much.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, God.
Happy birthday.
Why?
To you.
Happy birthday, Rita.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Dang it, I was this close. I was thinking I was going to get out of it.
If I could just say something really quickly.
Go for it.
When you sent me the message and asked me to be one of the beta readers for the book, I was just like so excited after reading the first one to be able to like be one of the beta readers for this one. It's like you sent a couple chapters at a time, and I would like read them right away. And every time I got done with like the 3 chapters that you would send, I would just immediately like, I need to read more now. But then I would have to wait like a couple weeks, like a cliffhanger for a TV show. And it was such a pleasure reading your book. Honestly, you have so much talent. It's incredible for writing. And like for anybody that's a reader that loves reading and you haven't picked this book up yet, you need to. Once you start reading it, you won't be able to stop until you're finished, and then you're gonna want more.
Well, luckily for everybody, there is a 3rd one. I don't know if I have enough time to get it out on the 3rd year anniversary, but there will be a 3rd one coming.
So, that's awesome.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you. Well, I think that is it, because I know it is very late for some of you on the Eastern Coast, and I know for some of our chat people it's very late. So, and again, I just want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you for everybody in the chat who came and celebrated the book launch, and to you guys who are on with me. Oh, hello. Or why are you handing me a book?
Oh, just one last,
Just one last.
just because you're awesome and you wrote that, and you're only 21. And
So, yeah, the big 2-1. Oh God. So, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you to the panel members who were on with me tonight. And yeah, everybody go get the book. Gosh darn it.
I got you.
All right.
Get the book.
And I think with that, this is going to be the end of the stream, and we will see you all later.